All right, man. You're up next.
Mine is also going to take place in like a parking situation. This is going to be in a parking garage here. All right. So she writes this. This happened to me when I was 19. Me and my friends decided to hang out at the local mall on the busier side of town. We shopped all day and stayed in the food court until they closed. The mall was one of the latest operating businesses in town, so when we got out, it was basically a ghost town outside. I believe it was close to midnight. I was one of the only people in the group with a car. Most of the others rode bikes or had a parent or friend pick them up. My car was parked on the third story of the parking garage. It was mostly empty, and I assumed most of the cars still left belonged to the night staff and security. As I climbed higher, the cold, dim garage began to creep me out. I defensively crossed my arms as I got closer to my car. Slowly, I began to notice a sound. It was a distant sobbing. Getting closer to my car, the cries grew louder, and I became concerned and upset as I passed by my car to investigate the sound. It seemed like it was a lost child or something. I came to this turn where the ramp continued up to the fourth floor, and peeking around the corner, I saw a big work van idling. I was scared. I kept peeking, and I saw a pair of legs standing behind the van, extremely still. This is when I noticed something about the crying I was hearing. There was another sound mixed in. It was an occasional pop or clicking noise, almost like a minuscule firecracker or bubble wrap. I recognized the sound, and my blood ran cold. It was a microphone pop. The sound came at the start and end of a recording. The crying sound was looping, and it was coming from the van. That's when I gasped and ran to my car. I heard the van start rolling forward and soon shift into gear. I barely made it to my car and out of the garage. The van followed me for almost an hour as I circled around town, trying to lose them. They eventually gave up, and I made it home. Be mindful of where you park and who you're with. Buildings have security cameras that only help after you've gone missing. These buildings are a perfect place for bad people to find their victims.
Let me start off by saying this. I love, and I'm not trying to take away from the story. I love how we're randomly playing music. Those of you listening, we're randomly playing music. There's no rhyme or reason. It's just a loop of scary-ish music. And there were multiple times I'm listening to that, and the music's dropping when you get. It's like everything was timing perfect. And I know when you're reading it, you don't know. You're in the zone. But it was crazy how that timed out. I'm sure people listening picked up on that too. It was crazy.
I noticed it in your stories a lot.
Yeah, it's like, how the heck does it time out like that? All right, we got some people commenting on. Sounds like the beginning of a Saw movie. Yes, that did. Were they luring them? Yes, they were, for sure. Yeah,
I'm assuming they saw her coming up by herself.
But she was going to go up there anyway, right? Because that's where her car was.
But they described it as being up on the fourth floor. She kind of went past her car and looked around up the ramp to the next level where the sound was coming from. So they were leading her past her car.
This sounds like it was planned for sure.
Definitely, yeah. I'm assuming they saw her inside the place. They probably knew she had a car out there. And then they saw her coming up and they started playing that sound.
What was the sound again?
It was a crying child.
A crying child, but she could hear the that it was recording at the end.
The little sound where sound loops over sometimes. Yeah.
And the creepy part is, so she has a straight on view of the vehicle, and you can see the legs on the other side of it, and assumed to be an adult not moving.
Yeah.
This is a parking garage, right?
Yeah, parking garage. At least a 4-story one. And then, the capital city here in this state, you go out there at night, it's dangerous at times.
I do. I go all the time to the baseball games and stuff in downtown.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's if you're all alone at night, late, I can see where it'd be concerning.
Yeah. And, there's quite a bit of shootings up there. And so, you can see this being like a dangerous part of town to be in at night by yourself. She said it was a ghost town usually, but that big of a parking garage, it's definitely a bigger town, and she's just used to being in a big city. So she kind of let her guard down there a bit. And it's definitely not something you want to do. It is scary, and this definitely seems like a real story to
Chill
me.
with the homeless people. Yeah, there probably are some there for sure. I just can't get over, I guess, the person standing there. And she's very well aware though that how bad of a situation this is beforehand. So it's,
Yeah, she was creeped out beforehand, before she even heard these sounds.
and she brings up, which was what I was just thinking, even about the security cameras, a comment she made. What was it again? That those are only going to do good after.
After you've been abducted. And then there's only so much help.
Yeah, there's not somebody usually just sitting at a parking garage security camera, I would assume. So, and I don't know how tall it was. I don't know if the fourth floor is the highest. You're far away down from the people working on the first floor letting you in and out if there's somebody there doing that.
Yeah, they're not going to hear anything go on up there.
Makes me think next, I'll probably be in a parking garage here in the next couple of months, going to some baseball games in Indianapolis, watching the Indians. And I'm going to think of that.
Oh, yeah. We're going to be up there for a convention in August, so.
Yeah, cosplay convention. Yep. Well, that's even scarier. You don't know what you're going to get into.
Yeah. You won't know terror until you see a person dressed up as an anime character coming at you.
Yeah.
With a knife.
All jokes aside, it seemed like they'd probably done this before.
Definitely. It definitely seemed like something that they had success with. Playing this audio. That seems like someone has deliberately been planning this, probably done it before, and gotten away with it, which is the real terrifying thing, because these people still got away. She just lost them. They're still out there.
Jeff Townsend Media. CG, good night.
And the question is, do I stay here? Will you be back? Are you gonna come back? Will you be back? Are you coming back?